Literally, you are a globetrotter. Glowing today. I don't know. Every time you glow, but today I think you are glowing more.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes. Literally, you are a globetrotter. Where did the travel bug come from? How did you manage to visit so many countries?
Well, I would say it started from my dad actually, because he used to travel a lot as part of his work. So whenever he came back home from his trips and tell me about the culture and his travel experience there, I'm excited and I'm very interested in I developed an interest in traveling since then. So when I was still in school, when I had time from like summer vacation, he would took me and my mom on some of his trips. So that's how I got to visit Europe and Japan and South Korea
Mm.
with him. And later on, I attend an Australian university that has a campus in Vietnam. And they has an exchange program that allows students to come to the head campus in Australia for up to a year.
Mhm.
So I went on that exchange and I made use of that opportunity to travel around Australia. And later on, I also travel different for different purposes, for leisure, for for attending young people forums, and sometimes for familiarization trips or what we call fam trips.
Oh, that's great. So still now you have visited 25 countries, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong,
Yeah.
many more countries you have to visit in future and share more story with us. Now, what is fam trip? Once you mentioned about fam trip, what is that?
So fam trip stands for familiarization trip. So it's the trip that is organized by the embassy. So they work with the tourism departments of some states in India and invite people in the tourism section and the media section to come and visit those parts of India. I'm in the media section, and the parts that they select for the farm trips are the states that are not well known in Vietnam, because Vietnamese tourists, when they come to India, they visit mostly Delhi or Bodh Gaya or those places.
Bodh Gaya.
Yeah, they don't know there are Tamil Nadu, there is Meghalaya. Those places also have many beautiful places, but Vietnamese people don't know. So they create those trips to have us familiarize with those places, and we can help them to promote to Vietnamese people.
Yes, I think this one is a very educational trip for you, and media person and tourism people, they can they get the opportunity from this. Yes, anybody can, if you are interested to visit many places, you can contact embassy, maybe they can get the opportunity like Hien. Which country surprised you the most and why?
I would say Cambodia, because the image of Cambodia in the Vietnamese media is not quite positive. So like my parents' generation, they mostly know Cambodia as a result of war and because of war, and then they feel that Cambodia is like not a developed country. They have a lot of problems, so they like traveling to Cambodia doesn't sound ideal to them. But when I came to Siem Reap, I was surprised. Like they have like their airport is very neat, very modern, and the city is very safe, especially for me back then, because I was traveling solo as a female solo traveler. It was surprisingly safe and modern and comfortable for a solo female traveler.
Yes, that means you can teach some other youngsters how to make the travel plan.
Yes.
And I know insane number of paperwork you need whenever you fly somewhere or you visit a country.
Yes.
Even for the single one, I know how much work it needs. So you can suggest how can they make the plan for the within their budget.
Yes.
Because everybody doesn't have the lot of money in your age, like so young people. So it's a good experience for you also. You get to learn many people.
Yes.
Also. Can you please share a memorable story in your life?
Yeah. In my travel journey, I would say, I was share with one positive and one negative like experience, because travel is actually not always a pink world, I would say.
Yes.
So the positive one happened just in Maldives. So as part of the forum, we have a team building activity that our team, as a team, we have to go interview local Maldivian people and about their daily life. So this one local man, we were asking him in English, but he didn't understand English. So one Bangladeshi boy start asking him in Hindi, and we understood. And what's interesting is that half our team, there are 8 people in my team, and half of us understand Hindi. Me, 2 Bangladeshi and 1 Pakistani. The 4 of us understand Hindi. And we kept talking in Hindi with that local man. And somehow we forgot that the other 4 people don't understand Hindi. It was not until my Brazilian friend asked, like, what were you guys talking about? Can I catch up? And I was like, oh, sorry, we forgot that you guys don't know.
You started
Hindi.
speaking in Hindi.
Yeah.
This is the advantage you got for learning Hindi from embassy.
Yeah.
Yes. If you know many languages, then you can overcome many places, many difficult situations also.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And unpleasant one, what is the another one?
It was the unpleasant one. It was when back in 2023, when my friend and I traveled to Boracay Island in the Philippines. So it happened when, like, firstly from the airport, we arrived at the airport 3 hours before our flight. But because like the in front of us, when we were lining up for check-in, in front of us there was a family. No, I think 3 families checking in together under one court. And because they have 7 children, all under 10 years old. So none of them has been vaccinated against COVID. And Philippine law back then, they require you to submit a certificate that you have been vaccinated for COVID. Otherwise, you would not be let into the country. And so the children wasn't vaccinated. So they took all 7 children to test the COVID. It took a very long time for the result to come out. So we had to wait for them because they were all under the same booking code. We cannot go ahead. So we had to wait for them to finish, and then we check in. And even though we came 3 hours before our flight, we almost missed our flight. We were the last 2 people to got on there. And we almost
whenever we are visiting some different places, always the memories, yes, we make memories, but at the same time we confront different kind of situation that's unpredictable. Maybe when you are at your own country, you are staying inside the comfort zone. You don't go out of your comfort zone. But whenever you are landing in a different country or different place, suddenly you start facing the challenges. And that makes you more like strong and smart, right? And if you
more
experience, I feel the same, because if I can remember at the beginning, when I got married, I moved to Delhi. So Delhi was like a different place for me, because I was raised in Calcutta most of the time in my childhood and my adulthood also. So then I realized that if I face more challenges, maybe exploring new things that can make us smarter than the normal, that transforms us.
Yeah.
I think. And me also, I feel that what I was earlier and what I am now,
Yeah.
because I don't have any fear of anyone, because I get to get the opportunity of meeting new people and new situation. That makes us smarter than the normal one. Yes. Which place do you want to go again? What makes it special?
I would say there are many places I want to go again, but if I have to pick one, I would say Angkor Wat in Siem Reap in Cambodia, because it's a very big temple complex that was built. So that was built completely by hand, like almost 1,000 years ago. That like the total complex site. I have read that it is equal to 200 stadiums together, and they were all built by hand, and they somehow stood the test of time. They were almost very well preserved, like they almost remained the same like back when they were built. And what's very interesting about Angkor Wat is it was initially built as a Hindu temple complex, but then it changed to a Buddhism temple, because the ruler, the king in Cambodia, were initially Hindu, but then the Buddhism king took the reign, so it changed the purpose. But I found it interesting because two different religions used the same temple complex, and there were no conflicts between them. And also because it was so big, like it is equal to 200 stadiums. The ticket I bought, that they say that it is valid for 3 days actually. And the guides there also said you will need at least 3 days to explore all the temple complex. And it was a pity I only had 1 day, so I really want to come back to Angkor Wat to explore.
Yes, I have been in Vietnam for a long time, but I haven't been there. But I heard from my other friends that Angkor Wat it has a lot of cultural history.
Yes.
And it has a lot of things we can learn from. If I go to Angkor Wat, definitely next destination I will choose Angkor Wat. Yes. What is a cultural tradition you have experienced abroad that you wish more people should know about it?
Well, this cultural, actually, this is an Indian culture tradition. I explored it experienced it in Australia and also in Vietnam, but I still wish more people would know about it. It's the Raksha Bandhan, the Rakhi tradition, because there are a lot of festivals that celebrate your mother, your father, your lover, like Valentine. But I think Raksha Bandhan is the only festival that celebrates siblings bond. And I find it very interesting.
Yes.
And initially, because I'm an only child, I was like, when my Indian friends in Australia invite me over their place to celebrate Raksha Bandhan, I was like, I'm an only child, like how do I celebrate it? And they said, no, it doesn't need to be between just siblings. It can be between friends, because friends are somehow siblings you can choose for your life.
Yes, it's that's a very significant one, Raksha Bandhan.
Yes.
Rabindranath Tagore started it in Bengal. Yes, West Bengal. That's a long history. I will not reveal it now, because it needs a lot of time, 5 minutes at least, if you explain it a lot. So it's true that, whenever we are visiting a different country, we have to think why they are behaving, why their dress is different, why their food is different, why they talk like that in a different way.
Yes.
Because we have to accept whatever they are.
Yeah.
Maybe we are human being, but in a different place, their culture, their climate and everything is different. That's why they are made in a different way.
Yeah.
So we have to learn how to accept the other cultures too.
Yeah.
Instead of having our own culture, we are rooted to our own culture too. And the most important things, who are visitors for a different country, for me it's a different thing. Maybe I connect people. I connect the culture. That's my takeaway. Rather than buying an expensive shirt or stuff, I prefer to visit a different country. That can give me a lot of experience. That's more important rather than the magnificent stuffs. Yes. What is your takeaway? What can you contribute to the society after visiting so many countries?
So my takeaway is that, a country is like very complicated, very complex. Like the media doesn't portray like every facade of the country. Like we have to come and experience it by ourselves. And in this case, like particularly like my parents' generation, their image of places like Cambodia or Laos or maybe even India, like their image about those places is not good because of what they saw in the media. It is not portrayed in a good way. But because I have been to those places, I can help convince them that no, it's not always what you think. So every country has its good side and its bad side.
Yes.
And we have to come to experience by myself and by ourselves. And so what I want to contribute to that is I'm actually building a travel blog that from there I can share my trips, my tips to travel, to create the budget, and to educate other people about cross-cultural knowledge.
Yes.
So like people who cannot travel so much, and cannot create a budget yet, they can learn about different cultures, so it will better equip them for their future travels.
Yes, for me it's a really great takeaway. That's maybe differ from you.
Yeah.
That whenever I visited a different country, I wanted to make friendship with the people.
Yeah.
And I know now, earlier I didn't know that, but now I know how to make the authentic connection without offending their norms and cultures. That is very important thing. Without offending their norms. Maybe they are different from me, but accept as they are. Maybe, but I make the connection. That is more important for me. I get to know many information, and not only information, their culture, many more things. Recently, you visited Kolkata.
Yeah.
So, what did you like from Kolkata?
So I like Kolkata in the way that I find it has many many things of Kolkata. It's similar to Vietnam. So you guys have the same flowers you will see on the street of Vietnam, and in Kolkata almost the same. And there are a lot of historical palaces, monuments that I wish I had more time to explore, like the Victoria Monument, the Writers Building, all the very beautiful palaces that have been built and preserved for a long time. And one thing I find interesting about Kolkata is it is one of the few cities in India that has a Chinatown, like an active Chinatown. There is a Chinese community living in Kolkata, and I have actually learned that many Kolkata people, they have an experience that if going to eat Chinese food, dim sum, for the weekend and for special occasions. I was like, oh, this is very interesting, because before I came to India, I would not associate it with somewhere that has Chinatown, but you do. In Kolkata, the Chinatown is actually a vibrant.
Vibrant place for eating and other things. Yes, and recently you have visited India. Which is the best place from India? Like, you have visited many places of India. So which one do you like most?
Wow, so India is very big and very diverse. So it's actually quite hard for me to pick my favorite place. But I'm particularly impressed with Meghalaya.
Meghalaya.
Yeah.
That's a pristine waterfalls. Yes.
Yes. And it gives me a very different image of India, the very different image from the India I used to know, because the culture there is different. Like the people there look almost like Vietnamese people. And when I was talking to the local tour guide of our group, a lot of word she's a Khasi, she's from the Khasi tribe. A lot of word in Khasi sounds exactly the same as in Vietnamese. And when I did my research on the Khasi people and their language, I found out the Khasi people and Vietnamese people, Kinh people, actually our languages have the same roots. That's why.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. It's an incredibly instrumental, I feel.
Yeah.
And yes, when you visit different country, you get to know many people, definitely culture that can transform you. But one more thing I want to share with the audience, that when you are in Rome, be like Romans.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but it feels really something different. But yes, whenever you are in Vietnam, I have been in many countries, also stayed in different countries, and I have visited multiple countries, but I thought that they have the different rules, different norms, but you have to maintain that.
Yeah.
Try to follow the rules, whatever they have, what they do,
Yes.
and try to find out what is the reason behind it.
Yeah.
Why they are following? Maybe for the climate, for the culture, for their customs, maybe.
Yeah.
Yes.
For this one, I actually in India, I was like, before I came to India, I would never actually eat by my hands, like because I'm not used to it. But after I
Yes.
came to India, and I know the reason why.
Why?
Yeah.
That is very good question.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention, actually, I thought at the beginning of before starting the interview, shall I mention about the hand and these things? Then I thought, yes, it's better, because some people, they feel really funny, or maybe something else, I don't know.
Yeah.
When they see the Indian people, they use hand.
Yeah.
But definitely there is a reason.
Yeah.
If you are curious, you ask them what is the reason. I know the reason. It's a hand and mind coordination.
Yeah.
You can feel the texture of the food. That's a different kind of sensation. It comes to our mind.
Yeah.
That will be very different. And that's why in India, the mother, they always feed their child through their hand, by hand.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting reason.
Yes.
So if you are curious about any culture, ask them. Definitely they will tell the reason, but don't be judgmental about, oh, they are bad, they are following this. No.
Yeah.
Yes, many people have their different diverse background and diverse culture. That's why they follow that. So I would like to conclude my conversation with Hien. Definitely, the more country you go and visit, and the more experience you gather and share with us, definitely it's incredible experience you are achieving, you are still keeping in with you, and that is a different kind of experience. Many people, they don't have the opportunity of getting this kind of chance for like you. Yes.
Thank you, Akulina, for such a lovely afternoon talk. I really enjoy talking with you, and I hope I can share more about my experience on future.
Yes, sure. I'll invite you one more time, because I know you are the media person.
Yeah.